Welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Son of Neptune, Chapter 6, continuing Hazel's journey into the past. Now, Hazel her whole past kind of washes into her, and she's back in New Orleans in 1941. New Orleans is kind of a French culture in America. It's a very, very unique kind of place and culture. And so she's there and she's talking about like the other kids, how they treat her, which is not very nice. She has black skin. I don't know if Hazel in the present time has black skin or not. I don't think it's been mentioned. But in 1941, having black skin, there could be a lot of racism. And so they talk about that she was in a special school for children with colored skin or children that had Native American parents. And those children were really mean to her. They'd call her names, they'd throw rocks at her. They just weren't nice. And they would sometimes ask her to give them her gold because, as we saw, her magic kind of power is she can make diamonds or gold or gems. And even though she really hated those kids, she didn't hate them enough to give them any of her gems or gold or diamonds. There's one exception, a boy named Sammy. And Sammy was a Mexican American kid, and he really liked Hazel. He made her laugh, he had a funny smile, and he was a good kid. And after school, they would go to where Sammy worked with a bunch of horses, and sometimes they'd even get on those horses and ride away. Usually they couldn't do this, but World War II was starting, and so all of the men had gone off to fight in the war. So people weren't riding horses, so they could kind of take one and take it out. And so on this day, her birthday, they took out this beautiful black stallion and ran it across the field to some special location where Sammy gave Hazel a birthday cupcake. They broke it in half, ate it in two, and Sammy gave her a kiss. Woo! And then they went home. Oh, kiss on the cheek, by the way. Well, as Hazel's walking home, she remembers all the stuff about her mom. Her mom is kind of a voodoo, I don't want to say witch, but a voodoo lady. She does like magic with voodoo. If you don't know what voodoo is, you can Google it and look into it. It's just kind of a religion for like weird magic for the African American culture when they were in 100 years ago or so. But so what Hazel would happen is Hazel would get nervous, and there'd be like a gold nugget or silver or something like that. Hazel's mom would take that, and she would tell people that she cast a good luck charm on it, and then she would give that piece to someone. She would try to sell it for money, or she would use this to pay for things. Well, after a while, those people that got the silver or gold or gems, something really terrible would happen to them. One person was wearing a gold bracelet, and then his arm got stuck in a tractor. And he lost his arm. Another person she paid with some silver or gold, and that person had a heart attack. And so Hazel's mom got this really bad reputation of using like black magic, and that she was cursed, and that Hazel was cursed. Well, Hazel goes upstairs to go see her mom, and she hears two voices. But when she opens the door quietly, she looks at her mom, and her mom's like sleeping, but maybe her eyes are like going up, like she's like spirit is talking in her. And when suddenly this sound comes out of Hazel's mom, of Marie, her voice, It's not Marie's voice, it's something else. And it's talking to Marie, saying, "Come north. Come north and you will be a queen. My son will protect you. I will give you everything you want." And then Queen Marie would say, "Oh, no, but her father said that I shouldn't go up there, that he can't protect me there." And they're having this discussion. And then finally, they both kind of say in the same voice that Hazel is a poisoned child. And this does not sound good to Hazel. And so she goes back downstairs. And as she goes back downstairs, she bumps into this person. And he's completely white, like the color of milk, or so white it almost looks blue, like ice. And he's wearing this black suit, and the fabric kind of shakes, and it's like there's spirits or faces in the black suit. And we learn that this is Hazel's father, Pluto. And Pluto kind of says, "Hey, I'm sorry that you've had such a hard life, but your mom wanted this, and it wasn't your time." And Hazel's angry, like, "No, this was your fault. You did it." And Pluto's like, "Oh, I imagine your mom blamed me. It was probably easier that way, but it was really her choice." And then he says, "Your mom never told you what she wished for?" Which she never did. And before Pluto could answer and say what it was, he gave her like some color pencils and said happy birthday, and then continued upstairs to talk to Marie's mom, or Hazel's mom, Marie. So Pluto gets upstairs, and Hazel kind of follows and is watching. And Pluto and Hazel's mom are getting in a fight. And so Pluto's saying, "You can't go, I can't protect you." And Queen Marie is like, "You don't protect us, you've never protected us, and everything's terrible for us." And he says, "No, I have been protecting you. I have a lot of enemies, and it's been really hard to keep you safe." And then Queen Marie is like, "Shut up, go away," and she starts throwing things at him. And so, rather than arguing, Pluto just goes whoosh, and it disappears. Oh, he also tells Marie, "Don't go to Alaska, don't go to the north. It's a trap, and you will definitely die if you go there." But Queen Marie doesn't listen to him, and so he goes away. Now, before we get more information, Nico D'Angelo starts to shake Hazel, and she comes back from her memories. And he says, "Oh, you did it again. You fell into your memories." And then they talk about how Hazel does this a lot, and how Nico D'Angelo used to do this a lot, and that Nico D'Angelo was actually born a little bit after his sister was. So he's really, in a way, younger than Hazel, but maybe they came out of Hades sooner or something, and they're different ages. So I think Nico D'Angelo is older than Hazel, but Hazel was born first, which is weird. But they kind of talk about how, she has to control that, and she has to be able to focus. Otherwise, she could die. Because if that happened in battle, someone can just walk up and kill her while she's sleeping. And then the muster sounds, and Nico D'Angelo says, "We better go down there. I think tonight's war games are going to be really good." Oh, also it's kind of interesting that Pluto can kind of see into the future a little bit. Not really, but he can kind of predict things. And he tells Hazel, "A son of Neptune will wash away your curse. But not now, much, much later." Which is, I guess, around this time. Vocabulary. Veneer. Veneer is a very thin material used to cover something. It could be wood, it could be something else. And she says something veneer. The school sounded like it had a really nice name and it was doing a really good job, but that was just a thin cover. When you went inside, it was actually pretty bad. Tethered means connected. Maybe you heard it like tethering your phone and using your phone to give someone Wi-Fi to the internet, but originally tethering was like tying something. So when they got to their picnic spot, they took the horse and the horse has a rope, and they tethered it. They tied or connected it to a tree or something. Gree, and that is like some kind of voodoo word for like a magic charm or magic spell that would protect you. And Queen Marie is supposed to be able to make really good charms, or, well, we learned that they're cursed charms. I believe this word is beignet, and this is a kind of food, a French food, or a New Orleans kind of food. It looks delicious, like a fluffy bread with some powdered sugar on it. I don't know. Seance. Oh, a seance is when people try to talk to dead people. And so they'll like be holding hands and they'll say, "Oh, I can hear your husband's voice. Your husband says," right? And they kind of pretend, or, I don't know in this story if it can be real, but they use some kind of magic to talk to people that died. We call that a seance. Bunk and hukum, that just means tricks, acting, jokes, false things. So Queen Marie doesn't believe that her gree-grees or seances are real. She believes it's just acting. She's just an actor, and she's just making people believe that so that way she can get money. And she calls it bunk and hukum, just pretend. But she doesn't really believe that, because she summoned Hazel's father, Pluto, and so she knows that there is some kind of magic and weird stuff. Crept, this is creep, but in the past tense, and creep is like to move slowly and silently, and this is what Hazel does following Pluto. What was this? Vlise, I think. There's some French words in here because New Orleans has some French culture, a lot of French culture in it. When early in American history, French people kind of came to that area. And so I believe that's Vlise, but that just means like a luggage, a small carry luggage bag. Well, discussion question. What do you think Queen Marie's wish was? What was Queen Marie's wish? She wished for something and Pluto gave it to her, but we don't know what it is. What was it? A child? Wealth? Fame? I don't know. But somehow Hazel is connected to that wish, and it's something that her mom wanted. Of course, please make your own discussion question. Please write it in the comments so that way other people could see it. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.